You guys ready?
Yep, and I've heard that from Don.
Sure.
Call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. All right. First order of business is on the agenda is the approval of today's agenda. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. The next item on today's agenda is the approval of the minutes of the September 18th, 2025 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. Do I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All righty. Well, now we are on to new business. First item on our agenda tonight is application P360. This is located at 32451 Windmill Drive, PIDN:401.099/CTM number 134-12.00-386.00. Application 360 is a request for a change of zoning as submitted by the property owner, SMC Enterprises. The commission will review the associated ordinance to amend the zoning district designation for the lands of SMC Enterprises from an R1 single-family residential district to an R2 1 and 2 family district. Could we please turn off all phones, please, or silence them? I'm sorry. For a certain parcel of land containing 24,916 square feet, more or less, located at 32451 Windmill Drive. PIDN:401.099/Sussex CTM number 134-12.00.386.00. All right, so with that said, let's get the meeting going. So you want me to start with
Mr.
Kent?
Lover's gonna,
Mr. Lober? All right, we'll recognize Mr. Lober first.
Okay, thank you. We have had the opportunity to review the rezoning request, and we have the following comments. For the point of the record, the zoning of R1 for this property was set for the parcel when it was annexed into town on September 3rd, 2002.
Okay.
The property consists of 0.572 acres with approximately 210 feet of frontage along Windmill Road. The maximum number of dwelling units that the current zoning will support is one single-family dwelling. The maximum number of dwelling units that the proposed zoning will support is 2 single-family dwellings or 2 semi-detached or duplex units. I'd like to add that in writing these comments, I missed the fact that the geometry is such and the acreage of the lot is such that there could be a combination of those two things, and they could actually get a total of 3 units if they did 1 single-family and 2 semi-detached or duplex units. So this is a little misleading. At the end of the day, there could be 3 new houses.
Okay.
Okay. The parcel is bounded on 3 sides by RPC zoning within town limits. The parcel is across the street from the community of Bishop's Landing, which is outside of town boundaries in the town of Millville. Bishop's Landing is comprised of a combination of single-family townhouse and condominium units. The parcel is shown on the future land use map within the comprehensive plan as planned community, which would support a mix of residential unit types. And should the rezoning ordinance be adopted, any future subdivision or development of the parcel would require development plan review through the town.
Okay. All right. Any questions from anyone up here? Mr. Lober?
I have questions I don't even know I have yet.
I have a quick question. Is what if there's, if is there a possibility of 2 duplex units? That would be 4.
That would be 4, and that would not be permissible, and there's not enough room for it.
Okay. Yeah, that's one that I had just reading this initially, yeah.
So what you said was 1 single and 1 duplex.
That's the
houses.
maximum, yeah.
Technically 3 houses.
So a total of 3 units.
Yes.
It could also be 2 singles.
It could also be 2 singles, it could also just be 2 duplexes.
Right.
And I should, I'm sorry, it's bothering me that I should point this out. We use the word duplex, meaning 2 side-by-side attached houses.
Okay.
Right.
In our code, that's referred to as a semi-detached house. A duplex in our code is 2 units that are stacked above one another.
Oh,
Okay, so when we shouldn't be using semi-detached and duplex interchangeably. They could build 2 houses connected right next to one another. They could build 2 units on top of one another on one lot,
Okay.
okay? And then they could also build a single family. So single family, 2 semi-detached, or single family,
Duplex.
2 duplexes.
And the 2 houses connected to one another, the semi-detached,
Yes.
would be similar to what is behind that in Avon Park.
That was my question. That would be similar to the setup in Avon Park right now.
That's correct.
You have 2 units that are semi-detached, is that what you call them?
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. With the duplex, there is a minimum height restriction on the height of a duplex
There is.
with code?
Off the top of my head, I don't know what it is, but yes, it is, and I'm sure it's similar to the other, to the maximum. Here, hold on, Joe gave you that stuff, I'll find it for you. Oh, here, sorry. So, the maximum height for, the current zoning is 42 feet, and the proposed zoning is 42 feet for all of the uses.
Okay. All right. All right, any other questions to Mr. Lober or Mr. Semino? All right. Well, then I guess at this point, we'll open it up for discussion or questions from the audience
Applicant.
or from the applicant. Yeah, come on up, give us your name and
My
address.
name is Sean Cummings, and I'm here to represent SMC Enterprises. You might know me, the Mike and Builders is the company, my family's company. We just created this LLC to run spec homes through, but Mike and Builders is essentially the person building it.
Okay.
I have a printout. Is it cool if I put this?
Mhm.
Yeah. What's that? This is the concept that we were looking for. I guess what he was saying would be considered semi-detached. They're not stacked on top of each other. They're just.
Could you speak louder?
Actually, you need to speak to the microphone. Thank you.
They're actually semi-detached, so they're joined by a parting wall, not above or below units. And it was actually just one building on the property.
All right. So it's just like the houses that are right before Woodland on the right-hand side?
Yeah.
Yes. What's those?
Mm-hmm.
Excel ones?
So just for reference, this was the house that was previously there. It was, okay.
That would probably
Put it up there.
It was not there when I purchased it. It was already demolished. But you can kind of get a feel for, you know, how much land is in fact there. And then I did draw on the survey an oversized, this is actually larger than the house we're planning on building. Each unit will be about 2,400 square feet. But the size of the lot, you can see it's not taking up a dramatic amount of space if we're concerned with drainable area.
So on your plat, it says lot 90, 89, and 88, right? At the top? Am I looking at the right?
Lot 89 and 92.
Yeah. Is that your proposed spot to put houses, or is that lot?
No, it's gonna be right here, just on this parcel. This will be the two.
So where are those lots?
Those are existing lots in Avon.
Houses already?
Oh, those
Yes,
are,
those
I
are
got you.
existing lots, yep.
So it's really this way. Gotcha. And where is the pond in relationship to this? In between the lots and the parcel? Gotcha. So it's over here.
This picture's pretty good.
Now, in a case like that, let's say there's 2 units on one. Do they have the 2 units have common ownership of that entire area, or how do you?
Yeah, typically you'd either create like a condo where you're responsible 50-50, or we could just cut it right in half and you're responsible for this half, you're responsible for that half.
Okay. Those would be items that would have to be addressed?
Oh, yeah, and again, if the rezoning is successful, all they've done is change the zoning of the parcel, and then in the future, they would need to come in to do the land development and subdivision process
Right.
to either cut it into 2 lots, develop it as condominiums, however they choose to move forward. Yeah.
Do you see these dwellings being condominium ownership or fee simple?
Fee simple, just, yeah, we were just gonna sell them off. And probably not have a joint. I mean, with only 2 people, I don't think it's necessary.
So if that's indeed the case, then they'll have to come back, and part of their land development plan will be to subdivide it into 2 lots. And that
That's
property line that runs between them will run down the party wall.
Okay. Okay.
Are you contemplating eventually going to the homeowners association of Avon Park?
Going to them?
Yeah.
To talk to
Doing
them?
that, or are they just gonna be a standalone?
No, they will stand alone now. We didn't necessarily want to be a part of an association per se.
Well, the property's not owned by Avon Park anyway.
Right.
They're not part of the covenants or anything like that? Okay. All right. Do you have anything else?
Nope, I guess I know some of the concerns had to do with the impact on the environment, because you got multiple toilets flushing. I believe currently we are able to build 1 house there. There was a house there. And I just wanted it to be looked at as, didn't know if it was any different if I were to build a 4,000 square foot house with 4 or 5 bathrooms, or 2,000 square foot houses with 2 bathrooms in each of them. Essentially, it's the same impact on the environment from the sewer standpoint.
Is there a sewer line that runs through there?
Yeah, right when they developed Bishop's Landing, they brought in sewer, so tap into that.
And that would be part of their land development plan, to show that they have
Right,
sewer availability, water, electricity, etc.
right. Okay.
And where's the runoff go for the pond?
The runoff goes to
From,
the,
from the back of the property? Where would the runoff go? Would there be drainage that it doesn't go into the pond?
well, technically, they say that you can't really, if there's a natural flow of water, they don't want you to disturb it. You shouldn't be reshaping the natural flow of water, at least that's what they told us, through, what's it called, the Conservation District.
Uh-huh.
So I know there's a tax ditch that runs through here, so it may pitch this way. I can see if we can get some spot elevations of what it's currently doing. But I'm sure at the back half of this property, some of it would pitch towards the water in the pond.
That's prong 3, Ken?
Yeah, that's problem 3 of the default tax ditch. I would say the front portion of that lot would probably shed towards Windmill Drive and towards
there's a tax ditch up front.
Okay. All right, any other questions from?
Yeah,
I've got a question.
go ahead, while I try to form mine.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just wondering that the pond that's there, now that pond from the land looks like it's straight east, it's on the east side, is that correct? Does it have any drainage, or is it just a
It's a man-made
intact pond? It doesn't connect to any other, like the tax ditch or anything? There's no other flow of water from that pond anywhere else?
I don't know specifically, but I can practically guarantee it's a stormwater management facility that was installed with the construction of Avon Park, and I guarantee.
So
that
it's totally contained, like it doesn't like join any other waterway?
No, it definitely has an outlet.
Oh, okay.
Where that outlet goes, off the top of my head, I don't know.
Oh,
But
okay.
What it's doing is collecting street runoff from Avon Park, putting it in the stormwater management facility, and then there's an outlet that will take it
Oh,
somewhere.
okay.
Most likely to Prom 3, because I think that's the only,
Or there's no pond up here.
oh, maybe it goes
But
to
there are
another.
representatives here from the Avon Park HOA, may be better to answer your
Address.
question.
Okay.
At the end of the day, if I may, real quick, if the rezoning is successful and they come back for land development, at that time, right, we'll look at the topography, we'll look at the runoff, the drainage. If they're contributing water to the pond now, they'll have to show us that they're not contributing more water to the pond in the developed condition. If so, they'll have to do their own stormwater management to make sure that, all of those things kick in later, right? At the moment, that they're not applicable necessarily to the rezoning of the parcel.
So for rezoning purposes, the reason why you want to have it to be multiple is to make better use of the land or selling value.
Sure. Yep. I mean, we bought it, complete transparency, for making money. I am there. I'm going to keep it potentially as a rental property and sell one.
So if you build a semi-detached, you would rent one and sell one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But it's all, we're just talking
Yeah.
about zoning. I'm deviating, we're just talking about changing from R1 to R2.
All right. Okay. Mark, you got anything?
No, I think
You
the
good?
answer right now.
Tom? You good? Okay. All right, well, thank you.
Cool.
Appreciate your presentation. All right,
Can I ask a question?
yeah.
I'm looking at you too. So if we decide to agree with the zoning and go from R1 to R2, I know they have to come back to what their plans are and all of that. That's kind of a different committee, that's not us. Is there oversight as to what they can build and what they can't build? I mean, they're asking to change the zoning to multi. Once we agree on that, we can't go back and, if we agree on that, we can't go back and say, no, you have to do an individual,
No, you would have to honor the uses allowed by the zoning you approve.
But if it gets developed, it does come back to this committee
Yes.
through the
Well,
normal
Through the
process, right?
development.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but once the R1 goes to R2,
They
then
can
we
do
are,
anything that R2 allows, yeah.
okay.
Okay. All right, well, let's open it up to the floor here. Sir, you want to come forward? Sure. All right. Give us your name and address, please.
My name is Mark Seawalk, and my address is 32 Brighton Street in Avon Park.
All right.
I am the president of the board of directors for the Home Association for Avon Park. I submitted a opposition to this request yesterday. I don't know if I sent it to Ken Simino,
And we have it here.
and you have it. So some of our main concerns are our pond that is adjacent to what they want to build. The pond that's behind it feeds another pond. The piping from the big pond that's behind this parcel that they want to build these two homes on, flows through the backyards of about 6 properties into another pond. We currently have a issue with our piping that we've been waiting to get our pipes scoped because they're rusted through. So the amount of water that we're already carrying is having a financial impact on us at Avon Park, to which degree we had to raise our association dues substantially to prepare to replace this pipe. If we're gonna now take on more water from this building, which we will, it's gonna impact the flow going into that pipe, which we're already at a disadvantage of having to come up with all this money to pay for this pipe. Not to mention that there hasn't been a home on that property for, I think, at least 20 years. And if you look at the plat, and I have a copy of the same thing that the gentleman showed there, it was a 1-story, like, shack. It was an old farm thing, so it was not 42 feet high. The people that live across the pond for 20-some years now have seen nothing but a nice piece of land over there, and I get it. Somebody can buy it and do what they want. I understand that 100%. But we're asking that you leave it zoned the way that it is and let them build a bigger, where they could build a 1-family home over there. If it's about cost and making money, build a bigger one that you can stretch out on the drawing that he showed a little bit ago, and they can still make their money on it. But we don't need a 42-foot high 2 families over there, and it's gonna back up right to our pond, which is gonna make it loud for those people that live right across there, because we have ruled in Avon Park about noise and all that other kind of stuff, and it's a very quiet,
End of town.
you know, older community, is very laid back. If we get renters in there, it's gonna be a zoo across our pond, and I don't think we deserve that. So we're asking that you strongly consider my written statement that I submitted and also what I've just presented. I don't know if any of the homeowners, there's 2 here with me that live directly across the pond. If you want to speak, you can come up. If not, it's just collectively, we're asking that you really take a strong look at what you're looking to do to us across that pond by Brandon. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir,
I have a question maybe.
Before you go.
Oh, I'm sorry.
did you have a question for me?
Well, for Jim, following up on some things that.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I'm just, I'm wondering about, whatever is done on that property, what are the sources of, what it would cause the water to be more than it is right now from being developed, because it's sewer that they're on, right?
Yes, but inevitably the increase in impervious surface because of the house and the driveway.
Okay, so it's that's what I was thinking.
That will theoretically create a small increase in runoff. We're talking about a relatively small area, 2 lots, 1 lot, whatever. So it's not going to be a lot of water. But at the end of the day, the Delaware sediment and stormwater regulations are going to kick in, and they're not going to be allowed to adversely affect any of the surrounding conveyance or stormwater management facilities. So they'll have to prove to the Conservation District and to us that they've done what they need to do to not increase the water surface elevation in that pond or the peak rates or anything else.
And also, whether it is a single family or a duplex, max height is still going to be 42 feet.
You mean a semi-detached?
Semi-detached, thank you. Or duplex.
Semantics. Get you every time.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Give us your
Hello.
name and address, please.
Hello, my name is Anna Oberste. I live at 30023 Seashore Park Drive. I actually am the lot that will be facing this new house. It's my backyard. The street divides us. Windmill Drive divides us. Right now, when I look out into my back yard, it's beautiful berms and trees. It's really lovely. I do think a home would be nice there, but the height is my concern, because how close is this going to be to Windmill Drive? How close will the home be to the street?
24 setback.
It's 30%. I think R2 is 25. Yeah, so that's right.
Because it will, and there's really nothing else around it but trees, and then you see Avon Park behind it. So it's gonna stand alone, and it's gonna stand really high, and the trees that were there, that were nice and helped with, you know, the whole ambiance back there they'll be gone, I'm pretty sure. So how far is it
So
away?
the setback off of Windmill Lane, Windmill Drive is 20 feet if they build a single family, or 25 if they were to build a semi-detached or
Yeah, and that's still pretty close to the street, and it's, like I said, there's nothing else there, it's pretty much an isolated lot. So I was just concerned about the height. I mean, a shorter home will nestle in there very nicely, but this 42-foot high home
Well-
would be concerned.
Well, sure, again, 42 feet is the maximum that the code allows. I don't want anybody to think that that's the structure that they're actually proposing. We have no detail on that right now. The code allows a house to be 20 feet from the right-of-way line and to be 42 feet tall. They may set it back farther, they may build it shorter. I
And
don't
that's
know any of
whether
those
it's
details.
R1 or R2, right?
Correct. R1, the setback is 25 feet, also 42 feet high.
Right.
Okay, so that's not changing that thing.
Essentially.
That was my only concern, is the height of the building
Yeah.
being so close to my backyard. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, anyone else?
Hi, Wendy Keenan. I live across from this property at 37. My biggest concern, we have had a lot of problems with our pond, with different things with the environment there. We own 10 feet from the pond, so we own up that hill. How do we make sure that these people that would move in there don't encroach our property?
Well,
How do you make sure your neighbor doesn't encroach into your property now if you don't want that anybody?
Well, we know what our property lines are there. A lot of people are not going to know that that is not their property, that it actually belongs to Avon Park.
So any construction, development, improvements that they would have to do on their lot would have to be permitted by the town, would have to be you have to pull a building permit, you have to submit plans to us, it would have to include a property boundary survey. Theoretically, anybody could do anything at any time, but they couldn't follow the rules and also build something in your open space, if that makes sense.
But there's no way to stop them from coming down that hill if the property goes up to it.
Not without
Well,
someone placing a physical barrier, either you folks deciding to put a fence up,
Yeah, but it would be
or
on the,
maybe when they do their build, maybe they put a
they
fence
build a
up,
privacy wall.
you know.
Okay, it would be a shame if somebody moved in with a bunch of kids and they're sliding down and pushing dirt and grass and things into the pond.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know how to answer the question, but there are rules in place that they would have to follow in order to do these types of things on their lot, and if they're doing things outside of the law or outside of the code, there would be mechanisms in place to keep them from doing that. I don't really know any other way to.
So our only choice then is to either put up a fence or no trespassing signs.
Correct.
yeah,
It would turn to a civil matter, just like it does in any community where you have property lines and property owners, and your property is your property and their property is their property. That's strictly civil. When you're talking about trespassing, that is a civil matter.
Okay. All right, I am against doing the R2 zoning. I would prefer a single family.
thank you. Yes, ma'am.
My name's Mary Beth Rapp. I also live on Brighton Street at 39 Brighton Street. I feel like my neighbors have already said everything that has been on my mind, but I too am really against the R2 zoning. I'm more for the single family, and as one of the neighbors pointed out, the height restriction is something that is also on my mind, that because of, you know, the nice open space we've had and just the view from our neighborhood out the back. And as we all know, so many of these open lots anywhere are just, they're just cramming in monstrous houses. So something that could be, you know, single family and moderately sized would be much more appealing for all of us. So.
All righty. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to point out that the structure that we're building is nowhere near 42 feet for the duplex, what we plan to do. If it does go to a single-family home, it's much more likely for it to be 42 feet tall and a larger structure, because we got to make it work for ourselves. It just seems like they're working against it at that. If you don't want a 42-foot building, let's split it in two.
Okay, thank you.
I guess to put it in perspective for me, because those semi-detached that are on Woodlawn that you guys did not build, how tall are they? Do you know? Excel built them.
Oh, XL,
how tall are they? Could you just give a number? We're deviating from what the subject matter is here.
35 feet, probably.
Just to put it into perspective for me. Thank you.
Okay.
Just one comment. With the drawing, and the intent is to, I realize, to make a profit. But if you're gonna rent one, all right, in my opinion, I think you're putting the community at risk with a lot of problems, especially if it's short-term rentals and it's only weekend rentals on a season.
Hold on. For today, it's a land use question, right? It's not a question of whether or not you have a rental or how you use it.
Once we change this, if we decide to change this, we can't go back.
I understand, but
you can
whether or not
use
it
it
rents or
R1.
own is not a permissible consideration,
Right.
right? It's a land use consideration.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm new here. I don't mean to jump in and make everybody mad.
No. What you're here for.
Quickly, just for a point of clarification, the commission's role tonight is going to make a recommendation to town council. There will be 2 more public hearings on this matter. So there will be more opportunity for public comment. Just wanted to put that out there. Those dates have not been scheduled yet, but the property will be posted again. The notices will be on the website, the usual ways. So be on the lookout for that. And again, there are more opportunities to then talk to town council about it as well. Just want to clarify that this decision is not happening and being finalized today.
Okay, thank you. Did you have a question, ma'am, back?
Well, I had already.
Can you come up?
Sorry. I have to come up. I wanted to piggyback on what you just brought up. My name's Megan Evans, and I'm at 29 Avon Park, and I'm kind of kitty corner behind the property. And I think that you had mentioned that you can have a 5-bedroom house or you can have 2 dwellings. Typically, in a 5-bedroom house, you're not going to have 8 people in your family, so the bathrooms aren't used a lot. And in a rental home and in a duplex, you've got more people, so you're getting taxed in sewer and water and all kinds of things. But anyway, so it is a pertinent question, and I know you guys don't want to or can't deal with that, but it still seems pertinent to talk about how the property and how the land is going to be used with the numbers of people that come onto the property. The other thing that I had mentioned in what I already submitted was my yard already in heavy rain gets a lot of water in it, and so the runoff for building is going to be somewhere, and there's lots of water underneath when the building happens and when it comes up to the surface. So I'm not thrilled about making it no, I'm not just not thrilled. I don't support changing it from a one-family to a two-family dwelling or two-home, whatever the language is. But I'm also really concerned about the runoff and the water and what's going to happen to that and where it's going to be directed.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right, any other comments before we close the floor?
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right,
Never mind. She's gonna go to the restroom. I thought she was gonna.
oh. All right, at this point, does anyone want to make a proposal here, or is to moving forward with the ordinance that is presented here to us? As you said, it's beginning of a process to, it doesn't end here tonight. So, do I have a motion or any question?
Just a clarifying question, and maybe, Ken or Jim or whatever, it seems like, some of the two major issues that we've heard about is issues regarding drainage and issues of concern about the height of the building. Those are issues that would be dealt with if the project was coming back through this commission, right?
Correct.
At that time?
And either way, whether it's one house or two house,
The height is the same.
by right, the height is going to be the max height will be the same by right
Right,
in either zoning district.
right. And whether it's a duplex or a semi-attached, just to be clear, a semi-attached is part of R2.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So the motion would be if we all have a vote. The motion would be to vote on this, and then it would be yay or nays?
So I don't know how you guys have done this in the past, but the council has to state reasons in the record for rezoning request. And so I'd ask you to do the same and state the reasons why or why not that you are voting for or against it. And I can help you guide it through what the statutory factors are, give you some hints.
Okay.
And I don't know how you guys do it, but the jurisdictions that I tend to deal with, there's a motion to approve the ordinance as done. So you take it in the affirmative. So it's a motion to approve the ordinance. There's a second. So if you want to vote for it, then you would vote yay, and then you would state your reasons in the record. And if you were against it, then you would vote nay, and then do it again. Because sometimes it gets confusing.
Yeah.
So if you state the motion in the affirmative, then everybody knows yes or no.
Okay. Right. Do you have anyone who wants to make a motion?
So what happens if we don't make a motion? Are we at a stalemate? I
Oh,
mean,
it's my first day. Please don't. You kind of have to make a motion because then you can vote for or against it. You can't kind of pocket veto it by not making a motion. But if you even make the motion to approve, it still doesn't preclude you from voting against it. For example, say I make a motion to approve the ordinance, you second it, and then you vote. So I've seen that happen where there's a motion, it's in the affirmative, there's a second, everybody votes against it, right? That could happen, or everybody could vote for it.
Okay.
gotta love legalese.
Person out there.
Somebody,
Someone.
Mark?
Well, let me ask council, we closed the floor.
Are we still open to floor comments?
Can we open the floor back?
No.
We
No.
don't- I don't-
Sorry.
I don't think so. Okay. All right, I'll make a proposal that we accept the ordinance that was presented to us here for application P360 as presented, changing it from an R1 to an R2. Was there a second?
I'll second.
All right, so we have a second as well. Any discussion before we vote?
Is this where we yay or nay?
Not yet.
Yes, you-
If anybody has any discussion they want to say, I think that's what the chair called for. They can say whatever you want.
Right.
What's your discussion?
Well, I just wanted to say that I thought that, you know, I care about the concerns that are present, but that I just see that they would be things that we would deal with if it came back here. In other words, I don't think that we would support some kind of a development plan that's gonna, you know, adversely affect, and there's laws and codes for that as well. And then the height, we can't say anything about the height, because either way, it's the same as far as what they're allowed to do. So that's, you know, at this point, why I can support it.
I'm torn. I mean, you know, first of all, I live in the neighborhood in front of them, along with, I have some of the concerns, and I understand what our subject matter is, whether we're just gonna change the zoning. But along with change the zoning, sorry, Jim, there's always one, and it's gonna be me tonight.
No,
You know,
it's your decision.
I have a problem with where it could potentially go. And, you know, yes, I know it goes to another committee and all of those other things, but once we say you can build 6 houses as opposed to 1, you can't go back, even once you get the plan. I would prefer.
Right. I mean, they're gonna have to build within the restrictions of the property that they have, so, you know, there's a limitation to how far they can build, and,
There are rules and all of those things, but all of the, what's the fallout for this is where my concern is.
All right.
So again, I'm new here. So generally I see it do a roll call vote. And then you would each vote. I have the code-based standard, so I may ask some questions when people are voting. Okay?
So you want to take it as a roll call?
Yeah, oh yes.
Hmm?
Yes, you should do, each person should.
Right, that's where I was going.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's start on the end with Mark.
So, can I ask you a couple of questions? You're voting against this, so then with that, is it your belief that, that the rezoning would not be inducive to the character of the district, or towards a view towards conserving the value of buildings around? That's why you would vote against it.
I mean, my concern is that the people in the surrounding areas, you know, what kind of detriment is there going to be for them? And I'm looking at that, and I don't know enough about this to say, yeah, go ahead with it and change it, when I don't know enough about it. But when I'm hearing from people is that they don't want anything with a second family, and then they gave, you know, pretty good reasons for it.
So, and I'm just going to touch it to the step. Now that I know that, I think I can ask a better question. So, essentially, you do not believe that the proposed ordinance prevents overcrowding of the land or the undue concentration. You want to keep it the way it is.
Who's phone? Turn the phone off. Oh.
Okay. I'm just going to the statutory factors. So, thank you. That's all I need.
Can you,
She is,
hold on.
she's getting it.
Okay. Could you repeat the question?
So the testimony that was given was that he voted nay, and basically he said he voted against it relating to the overcrowding concerns, and that essentially that the rezoning wasn't to avoid undue concentration of the population. So he wanted to keep it a single family dwelling instead of mixed, or instead of duplex. Did I get that correct?
Okay.
I got to, so I'm gonna get what you guys say, and then I'm gonna follow you up with questions from the statute.
Okay. All right, so we have a nay.
Okay, I supported it, and the reason is because the concerns, I can't see the difference between R1 and R2 on all the concerns, whether it's drainage or the height or the way the land is. And I believe that, we get different phases of approving it when it comes back again, when they want to develop it. They can't, the reality, you can show us a nice picture of what it looks like, but that doesn't mean anything. You can come back with anything. We're not really reviewing that now, but, so I really can't see that R1 or R2 makes a big difference in either of those things. I understand the concerns, but we deal with those concerns through the normal tiered process for developers. So that's my view.
Okay.
And that's sufficient
And-
that actually matches the statutory.
And if it came back here for development, those issues that were brought up would be to the forefront and would not be ignored. We deal with those issues at those times. But it's hard for me to tell how one is different from the other in terms of where we're going here, so.
So you vote yes?
Yes.
Nay.
Why?
For the aesthetic value of the neighborhood, for the value of the neighborhood, for I understand there's another committee that it would have to go to as far as building and all of that. But I'm uncertain as to what the effects of that would have.
So, you do not, putting words in, it's your view that the proposed rezoning is not designed to lessen congestion, and it does not encourage the most appropriate use of the land in the municipality. Is that correct?
I agree.
Okay. I vote yes.
Why?
I agree with Ken. I think that the difference between R1 and R2, as I understand it, as far as heights and things like that go, are very similar. The homes that are in Avon Park are semi-detached homes, and the proposal R2 follows the semi-detached proposal.
And do you adopt Ken's reasoning also as part of your reasoning?
Yes.
No. I based my response, I spent 7 years on the council here and 2 years in planning and zoning. And I just feel that this would negatively impact the existing community, just in a negative way.
Would impact the character of the district.
Exactly correct.
Just reading the factors, trying to help you. I think that's fine. I think that's sufficient.
All right, so we have a 3-2 vote,
So,
voting it down.
So that's a 3-2 recommendation, which will be taken to council. Council ultimately has the final determination on whether or not to do it, but that'll be the recommendation. Help me out, because I am new here. Is there a supermajority that's imposed by the planning commission's recommendation, or is the council's vote just, I don't remember. Some places have a supermajority based upon the planning commission, others do not. Right, well, so, no, it's against. The vote is against. 3-2, it's against. Next step is to go to council. Because and I don't know the answer to this question, but because the planning commission voted against it, council's vote, is it still a simple majority, or is it a supermajority? I'll have to find out. I'll take a look at the code, but from your blank stares, I think it's just a simple majority.
Usually it's yeah.
Yeah.
Sure is.
Okay.
So now it's up to the
Okay.
council.
All right, so we are done with proposal 360 at this
Done with the
point.
rezoning and the statutory.
Okay, all right. All right, so that new business is closed. Can we take a brief adjournment so I can make a phone call?
Sure.
Can we
You don't
take
have
a
to- you don't have to
5-minute
explain
adjournment?
why.
Okay.
something like 2 feet on a deck and,
All right, we're back to session, please. All right, the next item on the agenda is, under new business, is application P361. This is Northwest / Elliott Avenue, east on D. Marie Drive. It's residential land to Jeffrey A. and Stephanie A. Wilkinson, PIDN :135-004/CTM number 134-12.00-327.00. This application P361 is a land development site plan submitted by Flitco LLC on behalf of the property owners Jeffrey A. and Stephanie A. Wilkinson for a subdivision of one parcel of land into 4 residential lots and 1 open space parcel, which is on property zone R1, single family, residential, located at Northwest Elliott Avenue and East D. Marie Drive. Residential lands of Jeffrey A. and Stephanie A. Wilkinson, PDIN :135-004/Sussex, CTM number 134-12.00-327.00. All right, so Mr. Lover, I guess we'll ask for your presentation on this application.
Sure. We have had the opportunity to review the plan that was submitted along with the application. For a point of clarification, the plan is titled Final Site Plan. We are only here tonight for a concept plan review level. That is a mistake in the titling of the plan.
Oh, okay. So this is a
Concept plan review,
concept
no vote,
only, okay.
informational.
So we're not taking a vote?
Nope.
Okay.
All right, so in general, the plan should not include proposed lot coverage values. Each single lot grading plan that is submitted will be required to address the lot coverage associated with what is actually proposed at the time and will be expected to comply with the maximum allowable value for the zoning. Moving forward, additional comments will be provided regarding specific plan requirements at each level of plan review is achieved through the process. Although no open space is required to be provided in conjunction with this project, given that only 4 residential lots are proposed, open space is required to support the stormwater management facility. Therefore, a homeowners association will need to be created in accordance with the requirements of section 140-72 to provide for the ownership and maintenance of all of the common facilities. Regarding a variance, the Board of Adjustment granted a variance for required lot width associated with the previous submission of this application. Please place the following note on the plan. On October 21st, 2021, the Board of Adjustment granted a variance providing relief from the minimum lot width requirement of 75 feet to allow lots 2 and 3, as shown hereon, to be created at 40.8 and 40.9 feet wide, respectively. See application V424. Please provide dimensions for all 4 of the lots at the building setback line to verify the provided lot widths. Regarding the floodplain, the conditional letter of map revision approval was received from FEMA dated December 29th, 2022. Please verify that the proposed conditions are consistent with the application to FEMA that received approval. If changes need to be made, an updated approval may be required. Regarding easements, please show the existing 10-foot wide easement along the rear of the adjoining parcel to the east in accordance with Plat Book 310, page 66. Depict the 10-foot wide easement around the perimeter of each lot as required by section 140-79B6, regardless of other easements that may exist or be required in those areas. Any drainage infrastructure that is installed on private property will need to be covered by a 20-foot wide easement in accordance with section 140-79B3 and will need to be labeled as to benefit the HOA. No easements will be required for the proposed modifications to the existing cul-de-sac at the end of Demery Drive unless elements of that work are necessary outside of the public right-of-way. Regarding wetlands, the plan needs to reflect the existing condition of the wetlands and depict the area to be filled in accordance with the nationwide permit. Provide a note referencing the nationwide permit approval on the plan. Please note the expiration date of the nationwide permit and be aware that the plan design may need to be revisited should the project not be able to comply with the requirements within the verification dated July 24th, 2025. Grading associated with the construction of any improvements on the lots is not permitted activity within either of the wetland boundaries. All proposed grading will need to honor the buffer, or the buffer width averaging will need to be applied anywhere grading intercepts the Zone B boundary. Regarding stormwater management, sediment and stormwater approval will be the jurisdiction of the Sussex Conservation District. However, the town will also need to review the stormwater design. We have concerns regarding the proximity of the proposed stormwater facility to the house on the adjoining property to the north. Specific attention will need to be paid to the distance from the house to both the retained and detained water surface elevations, as well as the emergency overflow location and elevation. Please note that section 140-100D16 requires that all wet ponds be aerated. Regarding streets and sidewalks, please correct the note on the plan to state that the proposed right-of-way and the newly constructed cul-de-sac will be dedicated to public use. Finally, regarding outside agency approvals, any outside agency approvals that have expired since the time of the last application will need to be reissued.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we have a question up here.
Do we know if any of these things have expired?
We do.
Okay. I have a question, I don't know if it's appropriate, but the Board of Adjustment gave relief from a minimum lot width of 75 feet to allow lots 2 and 3 to be created at 40.8 and 40.9. Is there a particular reason for that? Or
Well,
why they approved that?
if you look at the layout, it's not as bad as it sounds. The lot width is measured at the building setback line, and so because of the odd configuration of the existing parcel and the cul-de-sac that's being proposed in front, the lot lines at each lot are radial, and so they widen out as you go. So
Okay.
at 25 feet back where you hit that setback, you're only at 40.8 or 40.9 feet, but then they continue to radiate out and you end up with a lot that's a normal width.
I got you. And those were lot, what, 1 and
2 and 3.
2 and 3, where are they on there? There's 3.
Top left and top right.
Top left and top right, there's 2, there's 3.
Okay.
Mr. Lober.
Yeah, I see what they've done here, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know there's wetlands involved and there's, relative to U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Do they monitor a project, when the wetlands are taken care of, or what?
They have had what's referred to as a jurisdictional determination done, so the Army Corps has done a field inspection to compare to the report that was submitted, and they have agreed with the wetlands boundary. I don't believe that the Army Corps will personally follow up with inspections.
So they don't, it's just forms submitted by the builder that it was completed and such and such?
Yeah, and it will sort of be up to us to make sure that the plan is approved in accordance with the nationwide permit and that the construction then proceeds in accordance with the approved plan.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions at this point? Okay. All right, is the applicant here? Can you come forward and state your name and address, please?
My name's Brad Parks. I'm with Plitco LLC, and I'm here on behalf of Jeffrey and Stephanie Wilkinson, the project owners. First, I'm going to start by thanking everybody for their time this evening, and we'll go into a project presentation. I understand everybody's used to seeing Ray Blakeney in this position, and I'm a new face, not the only new face here tonight. This project has been presented, I believe, going back to 2019, 2020, maybe at a minimum. So final site plan was definitely, we're not here to do that tonight, but it's something that I think a lot of you have seen before. But I will walk everybody through the project. And I think I can speak loud enough, hopefully, that I can get picked up by the web.
That'll be up to Russ.
Yeah, you say
I think you're okay.
So the project is basically located, this is White's Creek, the site, we zoom in, it's located at the end of Mary Drive, Marie Drive, you can tell I live in Maryland.
We won't hold it.
We have a cul-de-sac, and we have
Or what?
Waterfront. And so this being a concept, this is actually, you know, we can go into pretty high level detail, because we have utilities, some more of the site plan. To get into the wetlands discussion, this was the area that was determined to be wetlands by the Army Corps of Engineers. We show the buffers to that wetland area. You know, wetland mapping through the standard state NREC wetlands mapper that shows other areas, but this is the actual wetland in question. And the red area here, this is, I think, the most important piece related to wetlands, is that this is in the B buffer, and so we're going to remove this to allow for the driveway to lot 1, and the buffer will be increased over in this direction to offset that amount of area. If there's anything else to point out here, I guess. Lot sizes, just it's worth noting at this point, you know, lot 1 is 25,428 square feet, lot 2, 25,396, lot 3, 19,728, and lot 4 is just over 20,000 square feet. Utility plan, which you know, normally would be looking at this detailed concepts, but we have it. We show our connections for sewer cleanouts in the cul-de-sac area, proposed water meter locations. Let's see. You know, I think we could probably get into that. Maybe that's kind of high level. I don't know if anybody has any questions related to utilities, but a little bit beyond this. This is a site grading plan, and I think the most important piece here, you know, it's relatively flat in this area, but the lines that you see in the center here are associated with the stormwater management pond, which the outfall is piped and makes its way down through the bulkhead at Whites Creek. The permanent pool elevation of the wet pond is 3 feet. And I have, just related to the one comment on stormwater, I printed out some more details on stormwater. I wasn't sure on the comment about, you know, concern. We received in March full SCD approval, Sussex Conservation District approval, related to the sediment stormwater plan. Finished, so our resource protection volume is at 3 feet 53 elevation. On the 100-year storm, we're at 4.5 feet. The berm of the pond is 5 feet, so we're not overtopping on the 100-year storm. Obviously, we're going to control that flow out through the pipe and into the creek. I wasn't sure that for that comment, we should be submitting the full plan set to the town.
When we get to preliminary and final, we're definitely going to want to see all that.
Okay. That's on stormwater. Maybe let's replace with the pipe networks quickly. So essentially, just kind of logical justification for the location of the stormwater facility. It's centrally located, and we can safely convey all impervious surface, rooftop, and driveway runoff into the pond through this network of piping. Again, highlighting this, you know, it's real clear to see the buffers, buffer the impact offset areas that I mentioned before. And I mean, that's probably enough in terms of So happy to take any questions.
Any questions from the commission? All right, thank you.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
All right, at this point, open it up to the floor. Anyone have a comment that they wish to approach commission on?
My name's Peter Demery. How are you? Just a couple questions.
Just for clarification, are you one of the applicants?
No, I'm the owner of DeMarie Drive, or I own property right there.
Oh, okay,
Can I ask him a few questions?
absolutely.
45 Daisy Avenue. Is your stormwater quality or quantity? Both in one. And what do you plan to do with these lots? What's your dream? Are you going to sell them for spec lots? You're going to build houses for spec houses? Are you going to donate it to mom and dad, to cousins, brother?
Well, I'm the engineer on the project, so
So you don't know what they're going to do?
can't speak to that.
Okay, just curious what they're going to do. And that's it.
Thank you.
My name's Tom Fowler, 303 Azalea Court, Bethany Beach, but I own property, the marina, very close to this. I just basically have a couple questions. I thought, I was understanding that I don't know how big your wetland area is there. I thought you were allowed to fill a certain amount by the Corps. A certain, small amounts. I don't know how big that area is that they designated as wetlands, the Corps, the Army Corps. Do you know how big that area is?
This area of existing non-tidal wetland is 2,840 square feet.
Okay. So it's probably over the amount that you were allowed to fill. That's pretty much it. Just wondering.
If I can clarify that point real quick.
Oh, yeah.
The amount of wetlands is over the amount they're allowed to fill, and they are showing the maximum amount they're allowed to fill. And this-
So they are
this is the
filling plus,
additional-
and they'd have to leave that out. Okay, that's all. I just wanted to know what that was. Right. I'm just curious as to, seems the easier route to me would have been if you got your variance off the cul-de-sac to just make the lots the way they are as unimproved and sell them as just lots as not a major subdivision if you would have made 4 lots. So 5, correct? Right? 4 lots is not considered a major subdivision in Ocean View?
No.
So is this considered a major subdivision?
It is because they're creating right of way. But there was
That's all I'm getting at. In other words, if you had like a nice road frontage and you just went boom, 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 boom and cut out 3 lots, then you wouldn't need all the.
You wouldn't need the road improvement.
No, right. It'd be up to the individual guy who bought the lot to hook into the sewer or do whatever they wanted to do.
That's true, but they don't have that road.
Right, okay, this is a major subdivision is what this is, right? Okay, that's all. I don't have any problem with it, so that's just go on record, I don't have any problem with it.
Thank you. Anyone else from the audience wish to address?
Hi, my name is Graham Lake. I'm number 8 Demery Drive. I'll be 2 doors away from that house. I'd say I have some questions for the developer, if I may. The first one is, does the entire site drain to the pond?
Yes.
Why I raise that is because we have extreme concern. The ditch behind Ward's house drains the entire area starting from Woodland Avenue, the whole of Daisy. There's no drainage on it. And that gets into Demery Drive, and it relies on that one ditch, which is extremely overgrown as we speak. So every time we have rain, we have ponding in the bottom part of Demery Drive up to 2 foot deep. Sure, it eventually drains, but so we want to make sure that it is considered not to load that ditch any further. but he's just answered that question. The other question I heard was he referred to the wetlands as 5 feet. When you spoke about the top of the pond and the 100-year storm.
Oh, yeah.
Because according to FEMA, that's an AE7 zone. Translated is a 1 in 100-year storm at 7 feet. So it's just, and I just did a house 2 doors away. So in fact, across the water side, it's AE8. Reading the latest FEMA maps.
If I can jump in to clarify
Yes.
that point, the point he's making is that the designer just referred to the 100-year storm elevations in the routing of the pond, the surface elevation that the water builds up to. But the point that Graham is making is in that same 100-year storm, the whole area is flooded at elevation 7, which is 2 feet higher than that. So that's all part of the reason that I'm going to want to see their design stuff, as we move forward through the process.
And did you say most of the runoff's coming from Woodland?
Yes. There were improvements made in Woodland a couple of months ago. That deviates. From there, the entire Daisy drains down Demaree Drop. Because the grade at the bottom of Daisy is unfortunately sloped the wrong way. If we put a speed bump across it, then we would continue that water down Daisy and let it go at the end of the street. But right now, it's running down. I've got myself soaked watching it. It turns into Demaree. And even the Demaree Drive itself, its grade is wrong. So it's all forming in one side. If you wonder, I have some photos I could show you what it looked like with this.
If I may, I would like to ask you a question. You mentioned in your email about the ditch that you referred to,
Yes.
where all the drainage runs, and you mentioned that you are a representative of the HOA for
Yes.
drainage. So do you, as an HOA, does your community take
We've discussed
responsibility
it,
for that
I
ditch?
believe, and I'll speak under correction on that,
Sure.
that it was a remnant from when the original subdivision was done. So by implication, it's possible. I don't want to say yes and I don't want to say no.
Sure. Okay.
But it does need attention either way.
Right. And just to clarify again, the point that he made earlier about all the water going to the pond, all the water except whatever's going to fall on the south side of lot 1 goes to the pond. There's no way that they're going to keep that water from getting into the ditch you're referring to. It's just physically impossible.
A lot of it currently drains here right now, or
Yes,
just
exactly.
sits in impoundment on the lot.
Right.
The other question I had was the wetlands mapping. Was that prior or after the dredging contractor established site on there? Because the wetlands, apparent view changed it entirely when the dredging contractor was on site.
Ken Rediger was the wetlands.
I know Ken.
On this project, and that was confirmed with the Corps after that. Yeah.
After, okay. I have no more questions.
Thank you. Any comments from, anyone else wish to address us?
My name is Peter Gordy. I live at 1 Demaree Drive, which is the last house at the end of the cul-de-sac. We bought our house 5 years ago. I'm able to come out and sit on my deck and watch the Canadian geese, the ducks, the deer, and occasional red fox cross there, and some of them actually inhabit it there. I feel that this project would disrupt that. Also, where my property is, I don't know if it's applicable, but I would not concede any of my property to a third party. I think one of the special things about Ocean View when we moved here 5 years ago was the environmental that it has here. And if this passes, we've already decided that we would probably have to sell our property and move elsewhere. I'm 74. I don't want to spend the rest of my life looking at construction and taken away from the environmental that we love to watch and sit out there. And I think also, uneducationally, I think it could be a traffic problem. And it would just disrupt our community, especially on DeMarie Drive, if we brought this in. And I feel this is just the beginning. And my wife wants to say something too. Thank you for your time.
Hi, I'm Jeannie Gordy, also from 1 DeMarie Drive. My concern is the runoff. I know when DENREC was doing the dredging of White's Creek, they used the property there to put their equipment and everything. And then after they left, that's when we really started to see a lot of standing water for probably 48 hours plus, to the point where it's like a pond at the end of our driveway encroaching into our landscaping. So that's a concern. If they put these houses here, where is that water going to go? I mean, already, as Graham said, it's already an issue on DeMarie Drive. So that's a real concern. I also heard scuttlebutt that if the cul-de-sac would change and that they would have to take part of our driveway. Don't know how true that is.
So if I can add to that, that is true. We don't want a cul-de-sac followed by immediately by another cul-de-sac. So we're gonna cut parts of the existing cul-de-sac off, so it's just a road through there. And then there will be the cul-de-sac at the end of that road. And then what will happen is, as part of that construction, your driveway will get extended to the new limits of paving for the road.
Okay, so how do you extend a driveway? So how would that aesthetically look?
The driveway that's there would get longer.
It would be
Patched in to what's already there?
It would be pavement, just like the cul-de-sac. It would be asphalt.
Okay.
Pavement, just like the cul-de-sac. So the only difference is, instead of having an asphalt cul-de-sac, there'll be a section of asphalt driveway going to the straight road.
So our driveway then would have to be patched, is that what you're saying with?
They shouldn't be touching your driveway.
They should not be touching
Well,
the,
we're going to distinguish between your driveway and the portion of the pavement you call your driveway that's actually in the public right-of-way. So they're not going to touch the portion of your driveway that you privately own and maintain on your lot. They're only going to be changing the portion of the driveway that's in the right-of-way, which is the town.
Is there any way you can point that out and show me what you're talking about?
Sure.
So what's the right of it, then, 20 feet?
It's a cul-de-sac.
Yes.
So it's a little different.
7,400
Represents your
square
property
feet.
line. This area here is the cul-de-sac. This is the existing cul-de-sac. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring this road through, and we're going to keep it through the center just like that, so that it's a normal road, and then these additional asphalt pieces will get cut off. And this is your driveway, this piece of driveway will be extended to meet that new edge, so you'll have a patch right there. But we won't be on your property.
So I'm there, and they want you to extend my.
So the same thing will happen there. This will get cut off, the 20-foot road will continue through, and then there'll be a driveway extension here, because there won't be this large swath of.
That'd be great.
My property's on that, but who gets cost of that?
It developed a little bit of cost.
Yeah, this shows it.
So very considerable.
So if my mailbox is there, how is the mailman to get there?
It'll have to be moved in accordance with all of that construction. That'll be part of what they do.
Okay. So where is four houses?
1, 2, 3.
So there's nothing here?
There's the cul-de-sac where the road ends.
Right.
And then there's Storm and Mountain Pond.
So there's two here, so will they come in this way too?
No, this is the house here that runs out on Elliott. This
So
road.
this is the only way in and out?
Yes.
Okay, but sometimes they go both ways.
That's a long.
A very long
time. This, that's a long, yeah. Originally, this plan was called Elliott Avenue /
Right.
Essentially, it's taking this dead end condition.
Are they gonna mark it to the road at some time?
Well, yeah, there'll have to be construction, and they'll have this all cut, and yeah, absolutely.
Conversation.
Three of them. I would cut them off, and make them speak in the mic, I would cut them off and make them speak in the mic.
All right.
The what?
All right, Any other comments? All right, we'll close the floor then. All right. So this is a land concept plan, so there's no vote taken tonight. The next stage would be preliminary plans, which would be submitted at some point in the future. We don't know when. They got the variance 4 years ago, so who knows how long it's going to take. But, all right. So, you guys good?
Other business, we're good.
All right. Ken? Okay. Well, we might be all. All right. I don't think there's any further business. We're good, council? Okay. All right. Ken, would you like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Do we need to do a roll call?
And explain.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, we are adjourned. Thank you, folks.
Thank you.